Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be doing a how to build for Zahard. So Zahard is of course one of the new characters from the Tower of God collaboration. First thing we're going to do is look at his stats. So pierce rate, actually quite high, resistance, okay, crit chance, it's okay, crit damage, quite high, of course it's attack crit damage, so it's actually quite high, crit res, crit defense is quite standard, lifesteal not too bad, recovery rate doesn't really matter, and of course doesn't have the damage resistance because I don't have True Awakening for him. So on to his skills. So his first skill is called Light Spear, which is a unique skill for it's a unique effect basically only for him, which is pierce rate increase, which is times 3, which is normal pierce rate increase times, and then hero attack plus 40% when using a skill. So it's a 150, 250, and 450 multipliers, which aren't too high. But with the 40% increased attack thing and the pierce rate thing, it does make up for it because, of course, 40% attack bonus when using this skill, as well as the 3 times pierce rate. It's actually got quite a half-decent multiplier to it. And then his other skill is just your normal, regular AoE spike, the same one that Roxy has, and the same one that, like, Mael has, but of course Mael has a debuff with his. Onto his ultimate, which is quite a really low multiplier ultimate, which is increase the hero's crit damage by 50% for 2 turns, inflicts 7 damage equal to 300% of attack on all enemies, then applies immortality on the hero for 1 turn, 7 equals 3 times crit chance, immortality HP cannot drop below 1. So, the immortality can be removed by either a commandment, remove buff skill, it can be removed, which makes it not really that good. The damage on his ultimate, let me just give you a quick sneak peek. Bear in mind, this is level 100 SA6 with not too bad attack crit damn gear with the diamond outfit. He doesn't have the paid outfits because I don't really feel like it's worth it. But let's have a look at his ultimate. So as you can see, he has that buff, which is like his really big DPS buff, which you see all the YouTubers like basically vaporizing people with the gold skill. 159k. Wow. Attack crit damn gear, by the way. Of course, if we use this skill, it will look insane because he got the level 3 damage, level 3 bonus for level 3 skills. There you go. But it's like, realistically, you're not going to be pulling level 3s. And if you have to use him on a specific team, he becomes too gimmicky. And that's not what you want. You don't want extremely gimmicky characters, which is what he is, unfortunately. Like, I would say he's more gimmicky than Irons, and people thought Irons was gimmicky. This guy is even more gimmicky. This guy basically requires that buff, and that buff only lasts for 5 turns, and after that, he basically becomes useless after like, the 7th turn. He's useless. Yeah, I know most matches are done in 7 turns, but I'm talking about PvE. Like, Irons was not too bad in PvE because his debuff was grey and it worked on Demonic Beasts, and he was actually he's quite a strong DPS, even in today's current standards. Onto his passive, which is like a Bible verse. Applies a mark of stability on the hero for 1 turn at the start of the battle. When the effect is removed, the hero gains power of Shinsu effect for 1 turn. When the power of Shinsu effect is removed, the hero gains King's Decision effect for 5 turns. In addition, the hero's basic stats increase by 7% for each unknown race ally participating in battle. Mark of stability, unknown race allies damage taken, reduced by 30%, which is good. Power of Shinsu, HP cannot, basically immortality, and he ignores targets crit resistance and crit defense when using single target skills. So basically, turn 2 is his like single target DPS, turn 3 is AoE DPS. But you don't gain that single target DPS back after you've lost it here. King's Decision, which is increases crit damage by 1% for every 1% HP diminished. Increase crit chance by 100% when using AoE attacks. Increase damage dealt by skills by rank. Level 1 skill is 30%, level 2 skill is 60%, level 3 skill is 120%. Which is like, it's okay. Don't get me wrong, but it's very gimmicky. It's like, oh, well, when he loses this buff, he gains this buff. When he loses this buff, he then gains this buff. But then he doesn't regain any buffs after that, so there's no cycle. He's 7 turns, and then he's useless. Which is unfortunate, because he then loses he then becomes a lot weaker in PvE, and then if he doesn't really have a place in PvE, he could struggle quite quickly and just become box CC. Which is what I think he's probably going to end up being, is just box CC. Because I don't see him being used in PvE unless they make a character which, or even just in PvP, I don't see him being used for long, because he's very reliant on his own buffs that only he can apply. If it was like Albedo, who can rely on other people's buffs as well as her own buffs, that's why Albedo is so strong, is because she doesn't rely on this special buff she gives herself, she relies on just buffs in general. But this guy relies on his own buffs only he can supply, and that he can't supply them after they've been supplied once. They're a one-turn buff thing, after that, no more. No more buffs, and he becomes useless. And the problem is, the team he's used on, yes, you have Tyr, but if Tyr dies, and he loses his buff, your team's got no DPS. You've got Gotha, and you've got an Ashian back. Of course, I will try out the team, because I want to try it out, I want to do it for a video sort of thing. But overall, his pass is pretty mid. His Relic isn't too bad, removes all debuffs from the hero whenever a marker stability is destroyed, power of Shinsu is removed, or King's Decision effect is removed as well. So basically, turn 1 you get a cleanse, turn 2 you get a cleanse, and then turn 7 you get a cleanse. That's it. Which is, it's okay, but it's yeah, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because this buff lasts 4 or 5 turns. So that buff, during that time of that buff, you can be attack disabled, you can be blitzed by Barn, because he is green, the Tyr is red, you could be blitzed by another Tyr. There isn't really red characters in meta. You got a lot of blue in meta. Maybe that's the reason why they made him green, is to make the numbers look better against melee sort of thing. But overall, isn't the best character. Let's get the scaling result. Of course, the multiplier here scales, and the buff scales as well. The immortality doesn't scale as well, so the immortality stays 1 turn, no matter 1/6 or 6/6. But of course, the crit damage does increase, which means, of course, the ultimate at 6/6 is more likely going to wipe than at 1/6, because unfortunately at 1/6, he has problems. Of course, yes, with Tyr, he might get increased damage boost, but by himself, he ain't doing anything. If he's left by himself on the field, let's say Tyr dies, Zahard will be useless, because Zahard without Tyr loses the attack boost, which of course mixed with Zahard's crit damage boost will be horrible, and he won't be able to do anything, and that's a problem. Outfits wise, oh sorry, gear, forgot to go on to gear. Gear wise, I have an attack crit damage. It's currently UR'd. I'll keep it UR'd until I don't know, maybe he gets signed, or maybe currently he's good for Hero Arena, but yeah, maybe he'll get signed in the future. So I'll keep it UR'd until someone else really comes along that really needs the gear, and I can't be asked to make the gear, or I don't have enough materials to make the gear. His gear will be removed, and I'll probably give it to someone else, of course, unless he's got content that he's good for. Outfits wise, he has 5, 4, and then 4. Of course, these 2 are paid ones, and then I have the diamond outfit here, which is actually, in my opinion, his best outfit by a mile, which I'm kind of happy they made this for diamonds. But still, his outfits are okay. They don't look the best. But, if you want the extra CC, go for it. He is one of the, I think he's in top 10 for CC. I'm not sure if that includes the LRs, but I'm pretty sure he's top 10 for CC. So if you really want CC, go for it. Relic wise, it's actually pretty standard. 480 attack. We see this a lot with relics nowadays, especially collab relics, 480 attack, 300 defense, 3.9k HP. It's a good amount of CC, especially if you mix that then with the bonuses you get from the box, plus your constellation, plus box CC, the actual effect of box CC, so you actually get a lot of extra HP, which is nice. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.